Welcome to what I think I'm going to call Dicey Shores. So this is my brand new character, Roland Dice. And if you didn't quite catch the pun there, the idea is that I'm going to be allowing the fates of the dice to decide which professions I train. Now, what that means is, well, let me give you a little bit of background into, I think, what I'm thinking here. So, on my main, I've been sort of loosely following a guide off of Reddit from, I believe it's Athrek. I will double check that. If I'm wrong, I'm sure editing Rob can correct my goofy little mistake there. The idea is sort of like it was kind of like an early take on what they felt was the most efficient use of mostly like experience. Kind of it focuses a lot on grinding out the alchemy level for like the 10% potion before you heavily put any levels into an episode's skills. As you can imagine, that sounds as it sounds, it gets very, very, very grindy. Progress can kind of be glacial for a time, and what you end up doing is you kind of end up just skipping a lot of the profession's content, like a lot of the nodes, a lot of the gathering. You buy pretty much every potion ingredient that you're supposed to be using, and I don't mind it. But I feel like even though there's not a ton of content in this game just yet, I did want to make another character to sort of maybe not play as efficiently. And I was kind of hanging out in a Discord theory crafting with a couple of like creative ways to play this game. And something that I sort of settled on was rolling RPG dice to see what skill you get to train, or profession you get to train rather. And I've sort of evolved that concept into a little bit of like it's kind of like a mix rather of like Taskman and not quite one chunk, although by nature you are sort of stuck episode by episode until you roll your way out of it. But yeah, I don't know, I was just really inspired by a few of the like the OSRS YouTubers to kind of like, I don't know, just turn the camera on and get going. So this is going to act as kind of like a little progress journal slash fun kind of little like snowflake Brighter Shores character, I guess. And I guess that's a good time to kind of get into the rule set that I had in mind, which is essentially, as it suggests in the name, I'm rolling a die, and that is what determines what profession I get to grind. And the rules behind that are, if a profession and any related materials are accessible, that profession is kind of added to like a results table. So for instance, pretty early on here, I'm really only going to have access to 5 professions. The 4 Hopeport ones, and then the global, whoops, I gotta talk to people. The global combat profession. So, for argument's sake, in that case, I will... What? Oh, yeah, I gotta find our bow. I think it's behind the... Yeah, it's behind the bed. Oh, they've made... I don't remember the quiver being right in front of the bed. I feel like they made that much more obvious. But, sorry. super ADHD of me. So basically on like a D10, you would put like, I don't know, I think I'll do results like 1 to 2 would be combat, 3 to 4 would be alchemy, etc. So that is the idea there. If a profession is rolled that requires gathered materials for another profession, I'm only allowed to go get additional mats when I run out. So what I mean by that is, say I roll chef and I have to grind using a fish that I catch. Hopefully I will be starting with some fish in the bank if the dice gods are favorable. And by the time I run out of fish, if I haven't hit that chef level, then I can go get only the amount of fish that I'm allowed or only the amount of fish that I need, rather, to finish the level. That'll maybe make a little bit more sense when we come up against that. And if it's not clear, I haven't really... I mean, I've thought about the rule set, but this game is pretty new. It's still in early access at the time of recording. Like, we're at the end of March right now. And so there's gonna be, I'm sure there are going to be situations where we have to pivot on the rules a little bit and maybe think about something that I did not, or establish something that I did not think about. We'll, cross that bridge when we get here. Hey, there's our profession. So this is the bread and butter of this series is going to be these professions. Very nice to see this screen finally. And so, where was I? Oh, yes. So now that I have a visual aid here, that's nice. I must use the highest level available training method to train the profession. I probably could have worded that better, but what I mean by that is, basically, at level 0 forager, I only have access to brown kelp, so I have to grind to level 2, or level 1 and then level 2, until I get to the creamy wall plant. And then, if I rolled on forager again, I would have to use creamy wall plant. I could not use brown kelp, so that doesn't seem like it's going to be a massive deal. But there are definitely going to be nodes that are off the beaten path and super duper inconvenient. And that's just kind of the, that's what the dice want. That's what I do. And the idea behind that is there's a lot of this game that I just haven't seen yet. And there's not a ton of game to see, but the fact that like I'm already skipping out on nodes on my main because it's maybe a little bit too out of the way. I don't know. I just want to I want to force myself to explore the game in its entirety. I fully forgot that my name was Roland Ice. I love it. I'm quite proud of that pun. And so if a material, so like looking at you, alchemy, which I don't know that I've ever gathered for alchemy. If a material is available outside in the world, like as a forageable or like a fishable or whatever, I have to go do it that way. I cannot go to the ingredient shop. I cannot go and buy it at the store. If there is a way to acquire it, I have to do that. Only in cases like with chef, only in cases like that where what was it? I think the first thing is the bacon sandwich. You can only get that through Kevin's store here. So if that's the only location that I can get that in, that's the only location I can get that in. That's fine. That is well within the allowed rules. But when I get to a point where I can forage for something or I can fish something, cannot buy it. A little bit of light Iron Man. Well, I guess that's not really Iron Man because Iron Man can buy from the shops, but hopefully you see what I mean. And yeah, so once a goal is attainable, and I'll get into the goals a little bit here in a moment, I must go complete it. And right now, well, actually, I suppose I can show you. Yeah, so there's my, there's Roland's Golans on the right there, and what that is basically, right now it's really just primarily the quest list, and I'll get to updating it a little bit here once the tutorial ends. But basically, as soon as something is attainable, so say I need a certain level for a quest, the second that I update the spreadsheet here and the conditional formatting sees that I've met all of the requirements, it'll highlight that quest on the goals. And I have to stop what I'm doing and just go do it. So right now, like I said, it's really just the full quest list of the game and the Fallen Monument stuff on the bottom there. So like I said, I'm not super far into episode 3 on my main, and I'm not, I haven't even seen episode 4. Like I said, I've really just read things about it. So if there are other similar things like the monument, like skill requirements, happy to add them to the goals. This community is super cool and collaborative and really chill, so I'm hoping that if people enjoy this and find these videos, they're willing to collaborate and sort of help me like workshop these rules. I've never done anything like this before. This is going to be probably pretty sloppy compared to some of the other well thought out rule sets out there for RuneScape and for Brighter Shores. But yeah, we'll see. So I guess account over, because I just realized I hit 1 combat. So that's a wrap, guys. Whoops. No. Obviously we're kind of locked in to the quest line here. So I'll probably come back when I'm at a point where I can stop this and kind of like get my bearings on the spreadsheet. I am kind of rushing through the tutorial, assuming that you either A, aren't interested in watching a full walkthrough, and B, played it, or C, don't really care, whatever. But yeah, boy, can you tell I've never done anything like this before? Oh wow, 2 combat, okay. Yeah, so I mean, I used to stream quite a lot, and I've definitely like tried my hand at Let's Playing, but it has definitely been a while since I've done anything like that, and hopefully, I don't know, this is just authentic. You know what? That's what I'm gonna choose to. I'm going to choose to think that I'm being authentic and not at all distracted and nervous. Yeah. Authenticity. That's what we're going for here, folks. Right. So we are in... Oh, wow. Okay. So I actually didn't realize... So when I made the goal sheet, I sort of broke up all the different like quests here, like part of the main quest, individually. I didn't realize that you just do them back to back to back. Like obviously I've done them before, but like I don't know, it's been a bit since I've done them. So stay away from the equipment, bro. What? Oh, I probably gotta talk to Ebsworth and say, hey, I have the stuff. I got the kelp, bro. Okay, now am I allowed to click it? Cool. But yeah, so it'll, you know what, a little bit early dopamine of checking things off of a list won't hurt anybody. That will be quite all right by me. Bro, okay. Do I just have to give him the preparation? Do I not make it myself? Should I read? Should I shut up and read? Okay, yeah. So he's just gotta go tell me to do it himself. Oh, because it teaches me about like bottles and stuff. Oh my god. Nothing is so heartbreaking as being mid-alchemy passive and then logging back in and realizing you ran out of bottles after an hour. And you've been away for 11 hours. If you know, and it's painful. Ooh, that's actually, you know what? That was an unintentional segue. So passives. I will obviously not be, because it kind of defeats the purpose of the account. I'm not going to be grinding using passives. When I have the level to unlock a passive, I will unlock it. I will do one run of it, just to get the gallery card on the list here, and then that'll be all. So yeah, I realized that I didn't write that down in my rules. So again, we're just gonna be going as we go. And I will try to keep some sort of a concrete list of what the rule set is if folks like join in on the ride midway through and they don't feel like watching the whole thing. Oh, hello, cat. Dude, I want to pet this cat. I want to pet the cat so bad. It's just vibing. It's just vibing in the middle of a military discussion. Immunity. Oh, yeah. Where's the cat? Oh, it's under bins. Brother, I'm gonna need you to move. Okay. So, we are now officially... Privacy settings. Ooh. Well, I'll work that out later. So, we are now officially at the point where we can probably comfortably... I love that I said I was gonna click away and come back when I was done with that quest, and then I just yapped for 5 minutes and then I was done. So now we need a little bit of catching up here, but here's kind of, I guess, a demonstration of how the sheet's gonna work. So we complete Welcome to the Guard, and then as soon as we complete it, the only requirement for Defend Hopeport was completing Welcome to the Guard. So we're gonna defend Hopeport. Oh, I guess Marcus Mint wasn't listed as, or this wasn't listed as a requirement for that, but then yeah, there we go. There we go. And now we are on level up. And so we can see in game, if we go back to the game, that the requirements for level up are combat level 20 and Hopeport level to 40. And then we will come up on our next goal, which is completing that level up quest. So, without further ado, I think it's time that we start rolling. Well, first of all, I'm going to get my combat level updated on the sheet. So that's that. So that's now 2 on the sheet. And we're going to... I have not really tested this yet, but we're going to bring in... Oh, yeah, there it is. That's my hand. We're going to bring in the dice cam. So... just slap it right down there in the corner. There's my thingy. Okay. So, like I said, I've got a D10 in this case. And we're going to call 1 and 2 combat, 3 and 4 forager, 5 and 6 fisher, 7 and 8 chef, and 9 and 10 alchemy. So, let's see what we're going to train. That is a 5 on the die. It's a bit of a shiny die. I don't know if you can see that very well, but 5 would be fisher. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Cool. So, we're going to get a level in... Whoops. We're going to get a level in fisher. Which means we got to go mess with some flounder, which also means I believe we need to go buy some equipment. So our first gallery card is not even going to be any sort of Is this the Fisher store? I forgot that I fully have to like discover the map again. Oh no. I'm so used to having a full map. Oh god. Okay. There we go. We've got our profession equipment. I love that they broke it out into these little like active, passive, special. Like that is at the time of recording, that is a very new change. Right. So we need to go track down where the flounder are. I think they're near the beach. This is going to show you how little I train Fisher on my main. Nope, the beach is this way, Rob. And yeah, like I said, like a lot of, so if you don't know, once you hit 20 to the point where you can start putting knowledge points into passives in a skill, you can also, oh, I should be discovering these as I go. You can also put, you can essentially like trade in a knowledge point for experience in a skill. There we go. Is this the only place with flounder are? Yeah. So you can trade in experience points or knowledge points for experience in a skill, and that is primarily like what I've been doing on my main, is getting skills to 20 and then just grinding alchemy and putting the KP into different skills. So it's, you know, it's fine. It's quote unquote efficient. And I like having goals. That's why I'm kind of like loosely following this Reddit thread. Did I discover them? Yes, I did. Cool. Okay, so that's one Fisher. That is our first level in Fisher complete. I'll get that added to the sheet as well. And then we'll get back to Roland Dice, as our name suggests. Okay, a 1. So that's a combat level. Let's see. So we have technically, oh, that's interesting. Wait, are these all unlocked right off rip? Oh, they're not locked until, ooh, okay, that slightly changes things. I'm gonna say, and folks can let me know if this doesn't make any sense, I'm level 2 combat right now. So I should be training on the recruits until, until I get to level 3, which would be the Glen Pro. I think that makes sense. I think if it's not going to be the skill level for combat, it's going to be the enemy level. I also want to pick up the Quartermaster spell, which I totally forgot to get, and I've been wondering why there's just a blank spot there. So I'm going to grab that real quick, and then we are going to beat up some friends. Thank you, Quartermaster. But yeah, I fully forgot what I was saying before this, because I got distracted by rolling dice, which is pretty par for the course. I think what I was saying was, yeah, I didn't really like pay much heed to, or much mind rather, to any of the nodes outside of kind of like the goals of the Reddit thread I was following. So this'll be as much of an adventure for you as it is for me, I think. But yeah, I like goals, especially games like this where it's not really like super, not that it's not story heavy, but like I don't have to pay super close attention. I probably will take things that I haven't seen slower, just to enjoy them for the first time. But at the same token, like if somebody in the comments told me like, oh yeah, when you get to the merchant skill you can do this and you should add that to your sheet, I'm not going to be bothered by that. I think that's kind of like par for the course. Wow, I'm actually getting very consistent drops, and I'm sad that I've stopped training combat now, because we've moved on. But that's okay. We'll probably be back soon. So that is combat level 3. So we are going back to dice cam. 3. Okay. So that is, oh gosh. Where am I? That is forager. Cool. So back to the kelp. We're actually lucking out in that we've gotten the gathering skills back to back, because that means by the time we train alchemy, we won't have to do a ton of gathering, running back and forth, and chef as well. Actually, can you cook flounder? I imagine you can. No, I don't think you can. Do you just sell it? I'm gonna bank it if I can, I guess. No, actually, it might not even. So if it's not cookable, it's. Yeah, no, I think you just sell it. That's kind of cool. A little bit of definitely not convenient money making, but like, or efficient money making, but convenient nonetheless, rather. Oh no. I've just resized that by accident. Hopefully that's not abysmal on the capture. Yeah, the goals of kind of just having the dice take me through this game is a nice way to keep me engaged with it as well. I think when we get past these early levels and it gets more grindy, it'll definitely go back to being like second monitor status. But for the time being, it's at the very least a nice way to keep me focused in game. Cool. So let's have another roll. I really need to stop resizing that because that probably doesn't look great in the capture. That's another 3. So we're just gonna stay here and do more forager. Cool. And then we'll get to wall plant. Ooh, exciting. Okay. I believe, is there more kelp down this way? There must be. It would be foolish for there not to be. Well, speaking of foolish, I feel like a fool because I don't think it's over here. It's gotta be this way then. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I should know this. I do the forager run for KP. I should know this. I need to stop pretending like I've never harvested this kelp before. That's foolish. But yeah, this is definitely an early taste of where the inefficiency of how I'm training these skills is going to come into play. Because usually when I would train forager, well, I use forager kind of just to farm KP on my main, as I think a lot of folks do. And so usually when I train forager, I'm doing a loop and I'm depositing in the strange stone up here. But right now it's like, no, I just have to walk back and forth until I do it, which is a bit strange, but that's okay. That's what it's all about. And now the next time we roll on that, we have, and we need to buy our secators as well. But that is our first level 2, if you don't count combat. So let's get another die roll going. Okay, that is a 10, which is Alchemist. Interesting. Okay, so hopefully we have enough. Oh, I should just teleport. Hopefully we have enough to rock out with some easy little, what are they? 15% healing potions. And that'll be nice because that banks healing potions for combat training. Because I'm sure that'll be a nice little like contingency plan. Because combat still feels like it's a little bit unbalanced. And so sometimes on the main, I feel like I'm really cutting it close with like fighting same level or even like a level lower than me. I just remembered that you get experience for both of these things. I need to, first of all, I need to buy bottles. Maybe as we get to bigger, I usually just brainlessly click that, but I literally have 2 silver, so I think we're just gonna do that. I think when we get to longer grinds, we might have to calculate out how many potions I need to make just so I don't screw it up. and do one too many. But I think for now we're okay with that. If we just do, yeah, it'll just take one more kelp to do this. It's funny because I expected a lot more. Oh, that's the level. I'm gonna say that I'm midway through making a potion and I can't bank the preparation, so I am just gonna finish this potion. Please don't come at me, please. So we're gonna equip that. But yeah, I think during the longer grinds, there's gonna be a lot more stop and start of the camera or of the recording. But for short little grinds like this, where I can just kind of continuously yap at you, first of all, thank you for tolerating that, and second of all, yeah, it's been nice not to think about it too heavily. Like I said, this is a bit scuffed. It's my first time really doing anything like this. I'm sure I will figure out a nicer way to do it eventually. I just totally glazed over that. That was combat, so we're gonna hit a crow a bunch. But yeah, hopefully this series this episode rather has been entertaining. I'm gonna probably try and keep these roughly to half an hour, so I think after I hit this next combat level, I'll probably call it here. But yeah, I am happy that I just sort of hit record today. I'm the type of person that is very much a perfectionist, and I will totally put something off until I just don't do it, because I'm so afraid of it not being perfect. And I know this isn't perfect. I know this is fully like I grabbed a dice tray off of my shelf. I grabbed a die and I said, nope, I'm gonna download OBS today and I'm just gonna let her rip. Wow, that was, I forget that you get a little bonus when you hit the card for the first time. That was nice. So yeah, hopefully it's been enjoyable. I'm hoping to see that this series evolves over time and gets a little bit cleaner. But for the time being, again, I'm hoping that authenticity is carrying me. But after about, I would say, like, little over 32 minutes, this is what we're looking at. We're sitting here waiting for this level up quest here to turn red, so that we can go do it. And that won't happen until we hit, I believe it's 20 combat, and no. It's combat and Hopeport. I don't know the levels off the top of the dome. And I could go check, or I could be lazy. But yeah, this is where we're sitting at after about 33 minutes of rolling dice. So thank you so much for checking this out. I will hop back on very shortly and just hit go again and make more progress, and hopefully you'll come along with me for the ride. And yeah, thanks for chilling and have a good one.